Okay, so here we are at the first Kevin Smith movie that's unlike every other movie he's made before this. Jersey Girl. I really didn't know if I was going to be able to see this, ended up renting it on YouTube. So since I can, let's talk about Jersey Girl. Jersey Girl stars Ben Affleck, Liv Tyler, Raquel Castro, George Carlin, Jason Biggs, Will Smith, and Jennifer Lopez. I forgot the microphone. It's in now. Does it sound better? I bet so. But anyway, what was I talking about? It's written and directed by Kevin Smith, the guy that, had I watched this movie beforehand, I probably wouldn't have been able to guess Kevin Smith wrote or directed this. I really don't think I could have. Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma. None of those movies are even close to like this. The only similarity I can think of is New Jersey. And I guess Ben Affleck because Mallrats and Chasing Amy and Dogma. But aside from that, I don't think I really could have guessed this was a Kevin Smith movie. And that's the biggest compliment you could pay the guy, I guess, is that he really disappears and makes a movie unlike anything he's ever made before. In this movie, Ben Affleck plays a guy who, I forget exactly what his job is in the music industry, analyst or something. He like spins things and like, yeah, this is awesome, right? Let's talk about why it's awesome. He's good at selling things to people. And then he meets Jennifer Lopez, they fall in love, have a kid. Jennifer Lopez dies during childbirth. And then basically the rest of the movie is him raising his kid on his own, learning how to actually be a good father. They're living with his dad, played by George Carlin, and young Gertie, who's his daughter, played by Raquel Castro. First off, she's really cute, and she's sort of growing up, and Ben Affleck's got to learn how to raise her right. Liv Tyler's character comes in the movie, and she kind of maybe fall in love with Ben Affleck, maybe not. It'd be hard, he's Batman. But yeah, so that's the movie. It's mostly, though, about the love between Ben Affleck and his daughter Gertie, and how like he has to be a good father for her and raise her right, and that like makes it a very personal and sweet movie. It's not like all the other Kevin Smith movies where it's just comedy about sex and movies and stuff like that. It's not full of this dialogue. Like, what do you think about Return of the Jedi? You think all those guys who died on the Death Star were innocent bystanders? Like, it's not like that, those movies at all. The movie's unlike Kevin Smith's former work. It's a very earnest, very sweet, heartwarming movie. I even said heartwarming. It is. Because it's just a nice, sweet, earnest relationship between a father and a daughter. And like some of it, yeah, you might have seen it before, the idea of like, oh no, he's not being with her so he could go do work, and then he changes his mind, he's got to race against the clock to get back to his child to prove how much he loves her. And then like there's stuff like that you've seen before, but they actually kind of use the cliches in a way that works. And for the most part, I do think that this is actually a good movie. Kevin Smith, until he made Cop Out, this was kind of the movie everyone said like, oh yeah, Kevin Smith, his shit movies, Jersey Girl. I don't think so. I think Jersey Girl is actually a really sweet movie. The cast overall is pretty good. Ben Affleck starts out and he's a douchebag, and then over the course of the movie, he's going to learn to be a good dad and a sweet guy and stuff. And so he gives a really good performance because he was a douchebag at the beginning. I'm like, oh god, I don't like this guy. And it doesn't help at the beginning, he's being a douchebag with his wife Jennifer Lopez, and you know, like, ooh, around the early 2000s, they were dating, and the whole, what was it, Bennifer kind of made him a bit of a douchebag, and this and that and this and that, so it's like, ugh, I don't know. Jennifer Lopez, I was skeptical. I'm like, oh, let's see this, because I know, like, The Boy Next Door and stuff like that. She's done shitty movies, but you know what? She's actually really good in this, surprisingly. For the limited screen time she has, she really comes across as someone you like, and so you get why he falls in love and would be so torn about her dying and stuff. You like her. She's actually really good for a limited screen time. Raquel Castro, who plays Ben Affleck's daughter Gertie, she is so cute and fun and a good daughter, and it's just nice and like just a sweet, like that's the best way to describe it, just a sweet movie seeing him raising her and stuff, and the cute part where he's driving the, was it the garbage truck or something, he's like, you're riding in the Batmobile, and when I saw that moment my head exploded and I went, like I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, Kevin Smith set it up 10 years in advance. So actually Kevin Smith deserves a lot of credit and should probably get a cameo in Ben Affleck's Batman movie because of it. George Carlin's also really good in the movie. George Carlin, one of the best comedians ever, he's really good in this movie as Ben Affleck's dad. He's pretty funny. And Jason Biggs, okay, American Pie guy. I know him now mostly, even more in American Pie, like I'm most familiar right now because of Orange is the New Black. And like watching that and going back to this, I got scared at first because he's like so thin and small, just skinny, and in Orange is the New Black, he's kind of chubby and stuff. It's like, whoa. Like, I was spooked for a second, like, that's the same person. And also, Will Smith. I gave the guy some shit for when I was talking about Jake Gyllenhaal possibly being, who was it, Rick Flag in Suicide Squad. I'm like, fuck Will Smith, he's an egomaniac. And I was mad at the time because I was under the impression Will Smith was trying to tank Suicide Squad by making himself a star. But I want to talk about Will Smith in this movie and sort of just clear the air about Will Smith. Will Smith is for sure a movie star. They play with Will Smith's superstardom and stuff, and he's talking about his kids and how, like, life is better. If I was smart, I wouldn't be worried about making all these big movies. I'd be hanging out with my kids more. And that he was really good in the movie. He was fun. But actually, just like because of modern times right now, I'm thinking, yeah, but Will Smith, then you did go to like really be with your kids by bringing them into movies with you. And yeah, we got Pursuit of Happiness, but we also got After Earth. Shoot. But Will Smith is really good in this. I like the scene with him and Affleck. You also got a couple other good cameos that I won't spoil. And also, being a podcast fan, there was a tiny little nugget Easter egg. If you listen to Kevin Smith's Smodcast, you might know about the thing Emo Kev, and how young 20-year-old Kev was real emo, and he went to Ponder Rock to bitch about his life. Well, in this movie, you get to see Ben Affleck on Ponder Rock, and I was just like, oh shit, I know what that is. So that was just an awesome little Easter egg thing that necessarily wasn't even on purpose, but it's just, fun fact, Affleck is on Ponder Rock. Now let's talk about one of the best parts of this movie, Liv Tyler. She is really great in this movie. Kevin Smith wrote a really good female character here. Like, she is really, really good. She's total opposite of what you might expect, where she, like, there's one scene where she just comes out, like, all those sort of cliches and stuff is just like, she kind of throws away real quick, like, hey, this is what I want, let's go do this, come on. Come on. And I was like, oh, that's so crazy that it's, like, endearing and neat. And when I think of Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler, I always think of Armageddon. Don't want to close my eyes. Yeah, that movie. I cried during that song in that movie. And Liv Tyler is really good in this. She's really pretty. I like her. She's an underrated actress. She needs more good movie roles like this. And she's one of the bright spots of the movie besides Affleck and his daughter's relationship. That's really sweet too. Affleck and Liv Tyler are really good together. This is just, to say it for the umpteenth time, it's a sweet, heartwarming little movie. Very earnest. And I really like it. I think Kevin Smith did something totally different, and I think it did work. Totally not a Kevin Smith movie. It's the least of what you'd expect. No one's talking about stink palming anyone or anything. It's such a nice, delightful little movie, really. And yeah, there's some cliches. We've seen some things before. We sort of might know where it's going, but it's a nice movie. I enjoyed it. I'd give it a B+, to be honest. I enjoyed Jersey Girl a lot. I like the little Easter eggs of the fact that Affleck has a Batmobile 10 years before he actually was announced to have a Batmobile. Comment below, tell me what you thought of Jersey Girl. Do you think it's a sweet little heartwarming movie? Do you think it's just it's kind of mushy crap? What do you think of Jersey Girl? And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.